This episode of Capes and Lunatics is brought to you by Tweaked Audio. Get awesome headphones, go to tweakedaudio.com and use the coupon code Southgate to get 30% off, free shipping, and a lifetime warranty. Or you can get there through the link on our website, southgatemediagroup.com.
This is Phil Perich, and you're listening to the Capes and Lunatics podcast.
Recording has started. Hello and welcome, dear listeners, once again to Super Connectivity. I'm your host, Charlie, the Professor Esser, and with me, as always, is that blue-eyed bomber from the Burg of Pits.
Phil Perich.
Welcome, Philip. Welcome back once again to Super Connectivity. Your wonderful show that connects people.
Late night show.
Yes, well, we had a long night, so we're going to try and do a quick one here tonight. We only got 2 books left to review.
True.
Avengers and Captain America.
Yeah.
Which we'll talk about in a minute, but first, let's talk Black Widow.
All right.
And where they're going with this. So, the rumors are that an investor, I don't know who the investor is, but one of the big, probably a board member on Disney is saying, let's just release the dang thing. Let's push it forward. Let's put it on streaming. Because here's the thing. If they wanted to release, because theaters are open.
Yeah.
In most states, you do have theaters open. They could release Black Widow, but they don't want to be seen as being
heartless.
Something.
Reckless.
They don't want to be the reason why people are congregating.
Surge in cases, yes.
Yeah, and 6 to 1, half a dozen. But the fact of the matter is delaying it for a theatrical release doesn't help the theaters either.
And it's not helping them either, because then you're delaying all the other movies too.
Exactly. So I think what they should do, the smart thing they should do, is release it in theaters in November, as originally planned, and then 1 week later have it available for streaming.
That works. Oh!
Yes.
Release it the week before Thanksgiving, and then Thanksgiving weekend, release it on.
Yeah, that would be perfect,
Yeah.
I know that a lot of people, myself included, will go out to the theater. I'll brave the theater. I'll watch it probably twice by myself, and then I will come and I will download it to watch with my kids. So they're going to make out well on that.
Give everyone the choice. People who want to go to the theater can go to the theater.
Exactly. And, that's the thing. And Disney is saying they want to start refocusing on the Disney Plus platform. That they're not going to be worrying about films, theatrical releases anymore because, we don't know what the theater landscape is going to look like in 2021. Because the fact of the matter is, and this is something I've said for a while now, the theaters are going to come back. Whether or not they're going to be these massive chains again is a question, because essentially that AMC theater building, that Regal Cinema building, that's still going to be there. Even if that company isn't. And if someone buys that on the cheap and then starts running second-run movies there, and then running first-run movies there, it is a big entrepreneurial option for people to release films. And then that is going to be a very different cinema landscape that film studios are going to be going into in 2021, 2022, because now instead of these 4 major national chains, now you're going to have to go theater by theater and say, carry my film. Now, granted, if you're Disney, everyone's going to be coming to Disney saying, yeah, can we get your film? And, and it's going to, who knows, you might have theaters, paying payola to get the Disney film in their theater, but that's actually just going to create a bootleg market, and Disney doesn't want to do that either. So I mean, they're going to work something out. Something will exist for theatrical releases in 2021 and 2022. But the fact of the matter is that they're going to have to start. Everyone's going to have to acknowledge that the digital streaming platform is going to be a thing. And theaters probably aren't going to look like they look today.
And I mean, sorry, Disney and everyone else, you're going to have to take a loss this year, maybe. Everyone kind of had to take a loss,
Yeah, but, and that's the thing. It's like companies don't want to admit it, but they've got the cash to take a loss.
Exactly.
As Widow Yankovic once said, now how is he going to afford another solid gold Humvee? And diamond-plated swimming pools, these things don't grow on trees. But, Disney's going to be okay.
Yeah, they do the Mulan thing where you have to pay extra for it anyway. They're not going to be making money.
Exactly. They're going to get their money back on it, And, Mulan, I think Brave was Brave was a test case. Because Brave was the one that they said, okay, we did it in the theaters, you can download, and then we're going to have it on Disney Plus 3 weeks later. And again, because it wasn't a high priority for me, and I might not have seen it first day, I waited for Disney Plus. Now, granted, they're getting $12 from me a month or something like that. They're getting money from me every month. I don't even know what they're getting from me for Disney Plus, but they get that on an ongoing basis for all the content. So, they're making their money back, even though I don't watch it every day. In fact, I don't watch it when there's not something I have to watch on it,
Mm-hmm.
Right now I'm going to Hulu, which they're also getting money from me on, so I can watch Hellstrom. So, when you actually break it down, they're actually making money on both sides of the street here. And it really is just about Disney pulling the lever and saying, okay, this is where we're going to be. And my hope is that they're going to move Black Widow back to November, release her to the theaters, because the theaters need it now.
Mm-hmm.
Because the theaters, and they will have a thing, which is that, they will probably have a whole thing about social. They will put out a special commercial saying, we are releasing Black Widow into the theaters. Maintain social distance at all time in the theaters. Wear your mask in the theaters. They'll have that as a trailer before it. They're going to get Scarlett Johansson to put on the black leotard, show up, and say, listen, in her best Natasha Romanoff voice, do this, do as I said, sit down and watch the show. And that's going to be its own marketing campaign. And
or if Chris
that's
Evans,
going to work for them.
Or if Chris Evans put the suit back on to make one of those videos Peter Parker had to watch, So you have to social distance.
I would love that. Oh my gosh! And Chris Evans would do it. He's a sport.
Yeah.
Especially if it's oh, 1 day work and you're going to pay me how much? Okay, sure, I'll show up.
And all that publicity. What a nice guy.
Exactly. And they could, freaking Robert Downey Jr. might do it too. You never know. It's they do hologram Robert Downey Jr. Oh, see, that's the thing. Hello. I'm Tony Stark. Well, the AI of Tony Stark, the robot Tony Stark. And, I can't get COVID. You can. Maintain social distance. Thank you. And then start the show. And honestly, quite frankly, have that run at the start of every theater in every country. There's ways they'll make their money back on it, I'm sure. Somewhere in it, it's going to be a net positive on their balance sheet if you can monetize goodwill. So so they have to release it. And just because I think waiting doesn't solve the problem. It doesn't solve the theater's problem. And it definitely doesn't solve Disney's problem.
I think they're just worried about image. They're just they don't want to be anyone to think, oh, look, they're screwing over the theaters.
Because they're screwing over this theaters 6 ways to Sunday.
Oh yeah,
I mean, that's the thing. It's like they're damned if they do, and they're damned if they don't.
But right now, it's like if they release it, on demand, they're like, oh, they're just screwing the theater. But it, now when it's pushed back to May, they can be like, no, we just want to worry about everyone's safety.
Well, yeah, but that's the thing. Is like worrying about people's safety, because that's the thing. Like I said, I don't think they're even worried because, as I've said, the theaters are open. Even in New Jersey, the theaters are open. And God knows they never closed them in Mississippi. Those people are just freaking breathing each other's COVIDs left and right. Half of them will be dead in a month. But you know what? That's what you get for living in a red state.
Yeah, but they don't want headlines like every Black Widow showing in New Jersey has a spike in COVID cases, or they don't want that.
Yeah, no, they don't want that, and that is what they're trying to avoid, and they're trying to thread the needle, and the obvious way to do that is to be upfront, to release it in November, to say the exclusive theatrical release will be this week. After then, there will be a premium price Black Widow download that you can get if you're a Disney Plus member. And then if you're not a Disney Plus member, then you can get the lesser cost download. And then finally, as a Disney Plus member, you can watch it for free. Or you can watch it as part of your already exorbitant Disney Plus cost. Disney Plus, yes, we do have Disney Plus.
Mm.
What's your question, Tristan? Well, that will be difficult, but you will have to lift up your mask, put the popcorn in your mouth, put it down while you chew, lift the mask, take your drink, put it down while you swallow, and you're just going to have to do that back and forth.
Obviously, burn calories, Tristan.
Obviously, people aren't going to do that, but that's not Disney's problem. That's not even technically the theater's problem. The theater can tell you,
give you the warning,
wear your mask at all times, or, do this, follow this procedure. And here's what I'm going to tell you. A lot of people will follow the procedure because a lot of people do. Most people aren't morons. The reason why the moron story gets on your Facebook feed is because it's a man biting a dog, The guy who shoots someone in the face because they didn't want to wear a mask. I mean, it's horrific, but it's also the rarity. Most people just put on the dang mask because it's not that big of an inconvenience to them. What's your one more question, Tristan? With the sweet... Oh, will they have a popcorn tie-in related to Black Widow like they did with Far From Home, where they had the special Spider-Man, caramel-coated popcorn? I don't think they are going to do that because I don't think that... I mean, they might have planned on doing that, so maybe they will, but who knows, I was not a big fan of the sugar... I don't like the sweet popcorn that they do. I like, that's the thing. It's
butter.
Here's the thing. Cracker Jacks or even Poppycock, I enjoy. But I find that when you get that specialty sugar-coated popcorn, they up the sugar level too high.
Wow.
And it's not as enjoyable.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. People can disagree.
Put the butter on it.
I like cheese popcorn. That's very good. Maybe the next time we go, we'll get cheese popcorn. But I actually prefer classic butter popcorn. That's what I go to the movies for. That's what I like to have.
Oh, yeah.
But, that's the question that's in front of them. And I hope that Disney does redouble back to the streaming. I hope that they do look at what their entire business model is and maybe see that, we have a stronger advantage in pay-per-view. But the reality is that may not be the model anymore. And they may have a lot more people that are just willing to wait. Willing to wait for it to be released as part of their subscription. Because not for nothing, we're paying for the subscription.
Yep.
And not for nothing, that's how you often look at it, is like, I remember back in the 80s, they would rate films and they would say, watch, rent, wait. I think the AV Club did that a lot, where they would say, is this a film you need to watch in the theaters? Is this a film you should wait for it to come out on DVD or video? Is this a film you should just wait for it to come out on cable? And it's a good film, but just wait for cable. It's not so great that you have to run out and see it today. If you want to, go ahead. But if you got nothing better to do, go do it. If you want to wait for it to come out on video, go ahead. If you see it in the video store and you're like, got nothing better to do, rent it there. But this is not one that you have to rush to get.
Yeah.
And so I think that's what we're moving towards, where it's like, some films, like I said, Black Widow, I'll pay $20 for it. I'll pay $40 for it. If I get it for the week, if I can get a weekly rental for 40, heck, if I own it for $40, I may buy it, because I'll say, I'll probably watch Black Widow enough to justify it, as opposed to if I had watched it in the theater. I've got a big screen TV now, so it's like I can watch it. It's not that different than watching it on a big screen. I mean, it's actually a lot different, but showbiz. Anyway, yeah, so that's that. But the other big thing that's going on right now is there's a lot of casting stuff over at Marvel. We have I don't even know how to pronounce her name. I'm guessing I want to pronounce it with a Z for the X, but it could be in a soft X CH. So I don't know if it's supposed to be Choitl or Zoyitl. Gomez, she's an actress who is in the Babysitters Club, so I'm guessing she's relatively young, or at least was.
I mean, all the pictures I saw today, she looked young, but yeah, I don't know if those are old pictures.
Yeah, they could be. Babysitters Club might have been out like 4 years ago or 2 years ago, and that was her last big thing. Yeah. So it's like she was a young actress. Now she's a mature actress. She's 18, 20. Okay, that's prime superhero age. Now, the question of what role is she going to play, that's a debate. She has been said, and we'll get to when they say someone is said to be in something, because she is said to be in Doctor Strange.
Well, I think it's confirmed she's in Doctor Strange, but they didn't say as who.
Well, well, because we're going to get to that when we get to Tatiana in a minute.
Yeah, yes.
But so let's say that because right now Bleeding Cool is saying she's in Doctor Strange. That's not the same as Variety saying it, and it sure as heck isn't like Marvel.com saying, and welcome our new cast member to Doctor Strange. Because until Marvel.com lists it like 2 weeks after the film comes out, I don't trust it to be 100% certain. But people have suggested that because it is the multiverse of madness, she may be playing America Chavez, who is one of the Young Avengers and also a person who has multiversal-based powers. Meaning that if you were exploring multiverses, America Chavez opens multiversal gateways. It makes sense for her as Ms. America to be there. You had your own theory.
Yes.
And what is your theory?
Well, everyone's saying, "Oh, it's got to be America Chavez." I was like, "No, maybe it's just that was the last Doctor Strange run I read." But it's like, what if she's Zelma Stanton, who basically becomes like another assistant to the Doctor?
And that is a very good way to look at it. And I think it's actually kind of interesting, especially in the sense of, Doctor Who always has a companion.
Mm-hmm.
And believe it or not, Doctor Strange tends to have a companion too, more often than not. The idea of someone who is his regular world attaché, who's going to be like, what is it, Doctor? What is it, Doctor? What is it, Doctor?
Because especially like in the MCU, Wong's like a magic user also. So yeah, you need that normal person in there.
Mm-hmm. So I think that is a real option. Now, the first thought I had, of course, was, and I'm forgetting her name because there's actually two of them, which is the new White Tiger.
Ah, yes.
This is the Hispanic heroine who has super kung fu powers, which ties into one of the other next big things, which is Shang-Chi. And these super kung fu powers gifted by an amulet that had belonged to her uncle, who of course died, and yada yada yada. And then, but the cool thing about White Tiger is it gives you two different things. One is it gives you a legacy hero, and then starts to establish historic heroes in the same way they did with Ant-Man and the Wasp, of the idea that no, there have been superheroes for a while, which is also interesting because it becomes a street level superhero like Luke Cage and Daredevil, which opens up a great backdoor to introduce those kinds of characters as well.
Want me to throw this into the mix? I found her age, this actress's age. She is 14 years old.
She's 14 years old.
Yeah.
So again, that really kind of tells me the young White Tiger, who was, of course, we first introduced her in Avengers Academy. So she is very young, assuming she's not some kind of CGI character.
Oh, yeah.
I'm thinking White Tiger, but there is one other character she could be, and that is, I believe it's pronounced Aranya.
Oh, yeah.
The spider character, because where's the other place that we know Doctor Strange is showing up soon?
Spider-Man.
So is this a way, again, in speaking of the multiverse of madness, the web of fate, the spider things, and then how, so maybe what we're going to get in the multiverse of madness is that introduction to that spider cult. And then that's going to lead Doctor Strange to find Peter to see how he ties into this, and that's going to be open up the next Peter Parker thing, and then of course they're going to do what's his name, the Morlun story with him.
So Variety reported it. Is Variety like a legitimate source?
I mean, Variety's a legitimate source, but then again, as we've said, Variety has also reported that Tatiana, Tatiana Maslany?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, is playing She-Hulk, and then Tatiana recently said, "Yeah, there's all sorts of stories out there." Or specifically, that I don't know that's. I don't think that that's not. I don't know where that started. I don't know where that's coming from.
But like Lilith brought up in our messenger, it's like, could it something have happened behind the scenes, and both sides were just like, it's just easier if we say it was a rumor, and
I mean, well, there's actually a couple different ways to it. One thing that I saw was from someone who has been in Marvel films before, and said the hardest thing about it is having to always deny, even though it's been reported already, because you're not allowed to say it until it's finalized. The other aspect is, and this is something that I think people forgot about, which is everyone's saying she's playing She-Hulk. What if she's not playing She-Hulk? What if she's playing Jennifer Walters?
Then that would then that would mean it wasn't CGI then.
Could be. Maybe someone else is playing She-Hulk. And this is where they said, we want you to say you're not playing She-Hulk because you're not. And then there's a third option. What if she isn't playing She-Hulk? What if she's playing Betty Banner?
Oh.
And she's going to be the new Betty Banner, which means she may eventually be Red She-Hulk.
Ooh.
And maybe there is going to be in this She-Hulk story a Red She-Hulk subplot. But that, if she says she's playing She-Hulk and then it comes out she's playing Betty Banner, then everyone's going to know there's going to be a Red She-Hulk. And it's going to be like, no, just say you're not playing She-Hulk. You just say, yeah, you don't know what this is all about.
Or unless, she isn't playing She-Hulk, unless they cast her and she's like the villain or something.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we're going to have to see what it's going to be, but there are a lot of possibilities. There's a lot of interesting intricacies to these stories, and we don't really know what is what yet. Which is why I don't know if I'm certain this girl is going to be in Doctor Strange yet. We all got excited about Tatiana. Now she's pushing it back. And then the gentleman from Lovecraft Country, who is supposed to be playing Kang, is basically saying, yeah, I've been hearing those rumors too. Suggesting that all of the stories we're hearing may not be as grounded in fact as we would like to imagine. So I would say at this point, none of us know anything about what Marvel is doing and Disney is doing. We don't know where films are coming out. We don't know who's going to be in them. We only know and hope that these films will someday come. Our one hope is that, we will be getting Young Avengers, which is the other reason why I'm hopeful for a White Tiger character, because White Tiger, Avengers Academy, Young Avengers, these are all great characters. And then maybe someday we're actually going to get Boulder, my favorite character in the MCU. So that's my thought on that. You want to talk a couple of comic books real quick, Philip?
Sure, yeah. So I think we have 2 left. Yeah,
we got 2 left. We have the Age of Khonshu, the finale, or Captain America. Which you want to do first, Philip?
Let's do Avengers.
Let's do Avengers. Okay, so Age of Khonshu, the finale. Khonshu's a jerk. Khonshu's always a jerk. So I don't fault. I know that people. There have been negative feelings about this, from what I understand. I mean, just in general, the idea of, anytime that you have an entire galactic level threat that occurs in one comic book.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, wow, there's nothing going on in the X-Men right now about how Khonshu has conquered the world. No other superheroes have been bothered by this. So what exactly happened now? But yeah, so this is, and for what it's worth, we actually jumped right into this because we have Khonshu, fighting Iron Man and all this stuff, because Khonshu is trying to steal the Star Brand.
Yep.
And one of my favorite bits in this is Khonshu makes the point that, the moon must be brighter than anything in the sky, must be brighter than the stars. And I think Tony Stark makes the point. It's like, you do know that every star is a sun. You know that, so that the Star Brand is going to be much more powerful than Khonshu. And of course, the Phoenix Force is more powerful as well, because Moon Knight has called upon the Phoenix Force, which is kind of interesting just in the fact that, yes, Moon Knight can totally just do this.
Yeah.
Moon Knight can just reach out to ancient gods and call them to him, at least in this iteration. This version of his mental illness allows for it. And of course, afterwards, Tony Stark says, drop the, the entity of, what does he say? All right, drop the Phoenix and back away, Spectre. But, that's the thing. It's like, yeah, the Phoenix Force, that is not something Mark Spector should be in charge of. And then, of course, we have the Khonshu, the werewolves and the mummies and the cultists all joined together. But, of course, Black Panther deals with them because that's why his actor's on the back of the book. We get a great scene of... well, there's like a bunch of great scenes here. Like, one of my favorites here is, of course, Robbie Reyes in his underwear coming up there and basically making the point of, when Khonshu tries to use the Hellfire, that basically, it hurts. I know it hurts to use. It hurts even more to have it ripped from you. And meanwhile, of course, Captain America, he's fighting through all the mummies because he has to get to T'Challa to save him. Says, but of course, by the time we get there, T'Challa has already saved himself. Yep. Yay! And we have the Ankhs, which have the Eye of Agamotto and the Iron Fist. Gives those to She-Hulk and Blade, who continue to beat up people, as you do. And yeah, at the end of it, Khonshu is vanquished. Moon Knight debates whether or not he should destroy the world with the Phoenix Force, because the Phoenix Force is like, do it, do it, do it. And he decides not to, because this isn't the dark Moon Knight saga, which I appreciate. And after he sends the spirit away, oh no, goes off and back to the cosmos. And then, of course, meanwhile, on Moonbase the Moon, Wolverine's going to punch the Phoenix Force for reasons. Okay. We'll see how that goes next issue.
I don't know. Do you think we got anything out of this story? It just seemed like a lot of flat, just like a fun punch 'em up, but nothing of like, I don't know. It's just like, oh, look, Moon Knight beat up Iron Fist and Doctor Strange. And then it's just, it's like, oh, look, we got the
Well, it's what it is it's a good bit of lore.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. This is not, like I said, this is, remember when the entire universe disappeared, when Circe was on the Avengers and she has to hold the Avengers together until they can bring the universe back into existence.
Yeah.
That did not happen in any other books. That was just something that happened. This is a classic Avengers story. Yeah, the entire world was conquered for 5 minutes by Khonshu, and then the Avengers punched him. And that's what it is. That's all it was ever going to be. No one thought for a minute that this was going to have lasting effects on people, because it's comic books. Now, there may be some fallout from this later, but yeah, I mean, I wasn't expecting it to be much more than what it was. I felt that it had some good lines. It had some great philosophical ideas about, what is the role of these elder gods in this story. And you get the feeling that Khonshu is very, very much feels put upon as a god, that no one acknowledges him enough. And you have this sort of very petty quality to him, more so than even the other gods, which is quite impressive. So, yeah, that's our Khonshu. I mean, I enjoyed the book. I enjoyed the 4 issues of it. I mean, I've got no real complaints.
I just love all the Avengers. Like, you're under arrest. I'm like, what are they going to throw him in the raft or something?
Man, they actually have put gods in the raft before. I mean, honestly, there was that what is it? Mesoamerican spider god that Norman Osborn became friends with. So, yeah, they do that kind of stuff. Honestly, here's what I'm going to tell you. I enjoyed this much more than The King in Black.
The King in Black? What?
Well, it's not out yet, but I'm going to enjoy this a lot more than whatever the heck The King in Black is going to be, because the only thing that I think is going to be redemptive about The King in Black is going to be the new Thunderbolts. Rhino's in it, Taskmaster's in it, a couple other people that I love are in it, and it's like, yeah, you had me at Rhino, is what I can say, and that this is Fisk's task force. Fisk assembles his superheroes to defend his city, which I think is a beautiful thing. And so I'm really looking forward to that. That's the thing I have to remind. That and U.S. Agent are the other 2 books I need to remind my comic book guy.
Oh, here we go.
Put on my list.
Rhino, Taskmaster, Batroc the Leaper.
Oh, Oh, my Batroc. I love my Batroc. Yes. There we go. You had me at Batroc, people. You had me at Batroc. And speaking of Batroc the Leaper, Captain America.
Ooh.
Oh, gods.
So Sharon is not only young again, she got kind of an upgrade.
Yeah. I mean, okay, that's cool. Yeah, she's got all those extra life powers. But now she also has them screaming in her head saying, "Avenge me, avenge me." So, maybe not the best. We go to the Carter family estate in Virginia, which, man, that implies that the Carters own slaves. Just going to call a shelter half an entrenching tool there. Lot of backstory. Yeah, I mean, this was neat. Carter and Steve connecting, and you have this interesting parallel between Carter and Steve connecting, and then what's her name, Lucan and his wife. And Lucan is horrified because he realizes what the skull is doing with his body, and his wife is like, "Yep, that's fine,"
No.
because his wife is not cool. She's not cool. She's no Sharon. But visually, it's a nice parallel because they're both these blondes. They both have these men in their lives, and one seeking to do good, and one seeking to do evil in their lives, and that is messed up and difficult and troublesome. And Carter's getting an Agent 13 armor for reasons. I don't know why she needs it now, but sure, why not? I mean, I enjoy everything Ta-Nehisi's doing with Captain America. I really think this is a great reinvigorated run for the character. It's definitely, this is one thing someone was asking me about it recently. I said, well, it's a lot more about the supporting cast than it is about Cap. Cap is very secondary to the book, but I kind of think that a lot of Cap's best stories have been when he was secondary to the book, when he's the character that everyone else deals with, and that makes his stories all the better. So that was Captain America. Alrighty now. Anything else you want to talk about this week, Philip?
No, I think we're good.
Yeah, we did a nice short episode. We had a long one, so now you guys can pick. You want that short thing? We got super connectivity here. You want that long stuff? Going over to Capes and Lunatics. But regardless, whatever you're listening to, you probably want to listen to it on high quality headphones. And for that, I would recommend going to tweakaudio.com using the coupon code Southgate at checkout to give you a discount on their already affordable and high quality audio gear that you can get at tweakedaudio.com. And that same coupon code, you know how you use a coupon at the grocery store and then it's gone? Southgate is a coupon code you can just keep on using over at huntakiller.com. And you can use that same coupon code there. You can help Michelle Gray solve a crime, and you can get a discount on it. And, you can also look at their Blair Witch themed mystery. It's not just Michelle Gray anymore now. Blair Witch has gotten into the activity. So that might be worth your time and trouble. And, of course, finally, if none of that is interesting to you, go down to our show notes, click over to Amazon, and once you get to Amazon, check out Pod Life, the book written by the Southgate Media Group, friends and family, telling you why we do these crazy podcasts, and you might enjoy that as well. Also, once you've clicked on that link, by the way, that is either digital or paperback, but once you have clicked on that link, anything you buy at Amazon, we get sort of like credit for it because you clicked it from our show notes. Costs you absolutely nothing, helps us out, so feel free to do that as well. And in the meantime, Philip, if people wanted to reach out to you, how can they find you?
Well, the easiest way to get a hold of me or the rest of the team is email capesandlunatics@gmail.com or call the voicemail 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES.
And if you'd like to write to me in that old-fashioned email way, the way our mothers and fathers once did, do so at superconnectivityblog@gmail.com. That's superconnectivity, all one word, at gmail.com. Of course, follow me on Twitter as I live tweet the final episode, because if I can stay up for it till 9:30 on Sunday, of Lovecraft Country. At Charlie Esser, that's CHARLIE. ESSER. Look for the 2 E's in the middle.
For quality. Bing!
Thank you, Maz. All right, Philip. That has been another episode of Super Connectivity. I hope you've all enjoyed it, learned something, grew as a person. And if you have, or if you have not, come back again next week and super connect with us again. Good night.
Good night.
Now I got to see if I can keep my eyes open for the next 5 minutes.
Woo!
I'm tired. Yeah. It's been a long day, Philip. A long day.
Not that long.
Hmm?